The State Patrol now putting more emphasis on enforcement in the I-41 construction zone, covering both Brown and Outagamie counties after a number of recent crashes.
That includes that 6-vehicle crash just last week. It closed a portion of the interstate for several hours. Jason Zimmerman is looking into what's behind this uptick. He's live in the studio. Jason.
Cami, I asked the State Patrol how many crashes have occurred in the construction zone from the Wrightstown area to Grand Chute just in the past few months. They are working to provide us with that information, along with the number of citations issued compared to a previous year before construction started. For many who drive the 23-mile stretch of Interstate 41 being expanded, the daily construction is a big cause of concern, especially with drivers not obeying the law. Kelly Alexander is one of those worried drivers. We caught up with her at Lucky's Pub and Grill near Wrightstown.
It's just not a good situation out there at all right now. It's got people crashing into stuff because they're not paying attention, and all the lane diversions, and I don't know. It'll be nice when it's done.
In response, the State Patrol is warning drivers who speed and violate other laws. It comes after a crash involving 6 vehicles last week, including 1 semi-tractor trailer, 2 pickup trucks, pulling trailers, and 3 passenger vehicles. Luckily, no serious injuries were reported, but the State Patrol says it's happening too often.
Recently, there have been quite a few crashes. It kind of goes in streaks like a lot of things. A lot of it is due to driver behavior. We want to make sure everybody slows down through the construction zone. Things do change on a day-to-day basis, so you got to be aware.
It's 41. People do speed down 41, but it's busy highway. So hopefully in the future with the 6 lanes that will prevent that from all happening.
Well, drivers say the construction work will eventually make the interstate safer. For now, not everyone is convinced the extra enforcement effort will have the intended impact.
Everybody's in a hurry to get someplace somewhere fast, and they don't allow enough time for their travels, and maybe by the police being out there, might just have them slow down for the moment they see the cop's car, but then they go right back to their original speed.
The State Patrol says 2 vehicles are now dedicated to the zone 24/7, and that's also for the safety of workers doing that construction work, which won't wrap up until around 2030. Back to you.